Welcome to Wrong Time Watch. My name is Kevin, and today we're looking at the Citizen Eco-Zilla. The model number on it is BJ8050. So BJ8050. Before we get into the watch, let's just take a quick look at the box. Cardboard outer box, and then a leather inner box. It's a pretty decent box, actually. The retail on this watch is $495. I did see it for sale on Joma Shop for $269. So one thing that's unique about this watch that I haven't seen with any others is it comes with this strap extender for when you use this with a wetsuit. I actually have not messed with it. Not even sure how it works, but yeah, it comes with this dive extender. So I'll never be using this. I don't dive, and let alone dive with a wetsuit. Let's see what we have on the label here. Okay, so when I was on the Citizen website, it said $495. Now this tag here says $396 retail. And there's the model number again, BJ8050-08E. So let's set the box off to the side and get into the watch here. I'm not sure if you can tell from the video, but this watch is gigantic. It is absolute beast. Here it is compared to my SKX 009. Even then, I don't know if you can still get a sense of the scale of this. This thing is just gigantic. It's really thick as well. But it is such a fun watch to wear on wrist. If you haven't had one of these yet, I recommend you picking one up. It is definitely a conversation starter. It's really big and just looks so different from any other watch that you probably had in your collection or have seen in person. So since I started talking about the size, let's go over the dimensions. The case diameter and essentially the lug-to-lug is the same at 48 millimeter. So 48 lug-to-lug is not that big, but the case diameter is definitely quite large. 18.5 thick. It's actually 18.3 thick. And then the strap starts out at 32 millimeter and it tapers down to 20. So it's actually quite comfortable to wear on wrist, even though it is so large. And the other thing too that you notice immediately when picking this up is the weight. This thing weighs quite a bit considering it's on a rubber strap. It weighs 177 grams. And the actual name of this watch is the Citizen Eco-Drive Pro Master Dive Watch. Stainless steel, unidirectional bezel, of course, as you would expect. You can't grab it from the outside here. You have to kind of use the scallops here to rotate it. So it gives you a little extra security from accidentally changing your time, your dive time that is. It says it's 120 click, but it kind of feels like a 60 click. Let's see if we can count this out here. That was 5 clicks. Yeah, I think it's 60 click, even though I read that it's 120. So it's a little weird, a little tricky to read since the dial is actually quite small compared to the overall size of the watch. And it is sunken down in there quite a bit. But if you get it on a little bit of an angle, it's not too bad to read. And this does have a mineral crystal with AR coating. Typically, I try to stay away from watches with a mineral crystal, but for this one, it's okay for me because it is quite a bit below this bezel, and it is a smaller window, so scratching it, not as likely to happen. It'd be nice if it was sapphire, but I'm okay with mineral crystal in this case. It's kind of neat how this bezel ring is proud of the scallops. And supposedly you can take this ring off of here. I have tried to twist it off, not with any tools or anything. I don't want to risk scratching the watch, and it doesn't really matter to me if I can take this off or not. I was just curious, but it's not coming off for me. So let's take a look at the case back. You can read some of the information on here. This is unique as well. This outer ring, you can take this off to replace the straps. The case back is right here, and it says on here, somewhere it says do not remove. And really, you wouldn't need to remove it because this has the Eco Drive. And there's no battery to, well, there's basically not a battery to replace. You can go in there and replace the capacitor, which is basically just a battery, but this that would be out of the norm. It's not like you're going in and replacing a battery every couple of years. So let's see, 300 meter for mixed gas diving. So, okay, yeah, right there. Right over here, it says don't open, service center only. Service center repair only. You guys could probably read this a lot easier than I can. It's not so easy with the screen here, but it has a little old school scuba helmet in the middle there. So with some watches I get in or that I own, it's not that I don't believe the dive rating, but some of them may be questionable. The SKX is an actual dive watch, so I know this is good for 200. This thing at 300, no question in my mind, considering the size and heft of this thing. It's so cool to have an actual dive watch that people use for diving. I wouldn't use it for diving. I'm not a diver, but I really enjoy dive watches. So again, 300 meter water resistance, professional diver. The caliber on this is the BJ8050. This is a urethane strap, and it does come with that dive extender. So let's get this on wrist, and we'll close out the video with the Lume shot. Now, if you have not already subscribed to my channel, please go ahead and do so. Take a moment to do that. I would appreciate it. Like the video if you liked it. Leave a comment below. Let me know how ridiculous this looks on my 6.5-inch wrist. It's actually not too bad. It has the kind of like the Seiko tuna, the magic where the lug-to-lug is small, but the case width is big. It doesn't look as big as what you would think it would, but it's definitely a thick watch. And if you probably noticed, the crown is on the left at the 9 o'clock position. Sometimes when I pick up the watch, I'm holding it upside down because I'm just so used to the crown being on the 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock position of the watch. Such a cool watch. Wear it on the weekend, wild card watch, whatever you want to call it. So let me know what you think of this. They did, or they still do, offer it in titanium. Sorry, I should look that up. I just noticed that when I was doing some research on this. They do have these in titanium, or at least they did at one point. The strap is really neat as well. It has this kind of a double buckle here, so it's not going to come out on you if you don't want it to. And also, I'll show you in a moment here, but there are some little tabs on this bracelet here to help retain the keeper. I should show you from this side. I'll take it off my wrist in a moment, but there's little keepers right here. So let's get this off wrist. It's on there pretty solid, actually. It has a little bump here. Let me get it off wrist. I'll show you. It has a little bump there to also keep it retained on wrist. So this isn't coming off unless you want it to. So here's the little ridge bump I was talking about. And it flares out as well. It has these little ridges on here so you can really cinch it down, and this kind of expands out, just like I'm sure that Seiko and Citizens aren't the only ones to do this, but Seiko has something similar on their straps here. And then here are the retaining features for the keeper. It kind of holds it in here so it doesn't come down too far. But yeah, I can definitely recommend this watch, especially if you're a diver. So let's pause the video and we can show off the Lume on this. I'll try and compare it to the Seiko. Normally I try and lay them flat on the table, but this isn't laying flat, so we'll figure something out. All right, so on the left we have my SKX 009, and on the right the Citizen Ecozilla. And as you would expect, it has great lume. The hands and indices are very large. Lume pip is lumed as well, as you would expect from a dive watch. And it is just as bright as the Seiko Lume. Actually, I'd say it's a little bit brighter. It's a different color. So if you want a watch that'll last you a long time, you can go diving with good lume, and has a very large presence on your wrist, I would definitely consider the Citizen Ecozilla. As always, thank you for watching, and catch you guys on the next video.